Hello, MMA friends. How are you doing today? Hopefully, you're doing great. Hopefully, your friends and family are doing great as well with all this craziness going on. My name is Brian Nichols. I look like trash right now. I still need to take a shower today. I'll probably do that before I go to bed. But I wanted to make a quick little reaction video to the pay-per-view that just completed for the UFC, which was UFC 255, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Alex Perez. And it just wrapped up about 20 minutes ago. It occurred today, November 21st, 2020. And if you haven't seen the results, you might want to pause, go do all that, and come back. But I am going to go over the results right now. So let's get right into it. In the main event, we have Deiveson Figueiredo defending his 125-pound title for the first time by defeating Alex Perez round 1, 1 minute and 57 seconds in via submission guillotine choke. Not much to really see here with only less than 2 minutes in a fight, but Perez looked okay, you know. Obviously, he was competitive and did well in his previous fights, get submissions and things like that. But he got caught and couldn't get out of the submission there, and that was it. And Figueiredo just, I think they also call him Figgy. Figgy looked good. I mean, looked as good before, like they were talking about on the broadcast. Dude looked in shape, so he was fucking ready to go. So not much to say there. I do agree that Brandon Moreno should be next for the shot. I know they talked about Cody on the broadcast, saying that, you know, if Cody can make weight, or Triple C ain't gonna come back for that fight. He's going to go fight one of the other champions. But, yeah. It's crazy. Typically in the main events, I usually talk a lot about the main events, but there isn't much to talk about here. I mean, it looked like a good back and forth. Alex Perez was having really good work against him, and they went up towards the, what was it? Was it towards the, oh, that's right. Alex had his leg really high up, and he went to kick the leg out, and that didn't work. So Deiveson kind of went down for like a leg lock kind of thing. It was interesting. And Perez really couldn't. He kind of leaned up towards the cage. And all he could do is really kind of go into the leg lock, and kind of went down with a hammer fist, and it just kind of all went downhill from there. Because he actually did. I want to say he did actually get on Figgy's back for a couple seconds, and then I don't know if Figueiredo used a wizard or what, but he used something or hook or a hook. I forget, but basically he was able to get the head and arm, and they were saying on the broadcast Alex looked like he was getting out, like his head was close to popping out. I didn't see that. I didn't see his head really getting close to popping out. I'd have to see the replay again, maybe a different angle or something, but. Yeah, good fight for Figgy. Quick night for him. Could be a quick turnaround. Defend the belt. Let's see. It's November 21st. I'd say maybe mid-January. He could hop back in. Maybe fight Moreno. So, great fight for the main event. Obviously not going to sell crazy amount of tickets. Obviously not a, what does Dana like to call it? Doesn't move the needle. But you gotta get the flyweight division. You gotta stop having 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You gotta be all in or all out, in my opinion. And if you're diving all in, you gotta start working on these flyweight fighters and the champion and things like that. Start building some here. You know, stop letting it sit stagnant and not have any movement and things like that. So, great main event. Moving on, co-main event, we had Valentina Shevchenko defeating Jennifer Maia after a 5-round fight and a decision unanimous for Valentina. And Jennifer Maia definitely gave her a little bit on, was it round 2, I think? But obviously Valentina was able to secure rounds 1, 3, 4, and 5. So it's weird. It's like they were talking about on the broadcast, that little kink in the armor of Valentina makes you think like, oh, shit, you know, Maia might have a shot here. But Valentina just did what Valentina does. Just clobbers you, man. It was interesting. They were talking about how Valentina's takedowns aren't very technical. It's more being physical. almost wonder if, almost like an Amanda Nunes, if there was a woman in the flyweight division that was much bigger, knew a little more wrestling, and was able to pressure a lot more, if that would be a good kryptonite against Valentina. Almost maybe, I guess, like an Amanda Nunes. But Amanda Nunes can strike really well, too. But there'd be no way. I don't think Amanda could go down and beat Valentina. Let me rephrase that. She could beat Valentina. Obviously, she's beaten her twice per their 2 fights. But I don't think she can make 125. So I don't know. I really don't know who's going to beat Shevchenko. Let me bring up the rankings and see who's even close. Let's take a gander. Rankings. Oh, Jessica Andrade. It might be Miss Andrade next. Shit. Andrade's 1, Katlyn Chookagian's 2, but I think Katlyn just lost before this fight to Shevchenko. Maybe it was a fight before that. Jennifer Maia just lost. Calvillo just lost today against Chookagian. Lauren Murphy, Jessica I, obviously lost to Shevchenko a while ago. Calderwood. Yeah, it's got to be Andrade. Andrade is up next. That'll be a good fight. Cool. There you go. You heard it here first. So that was a cool main event. Next after that, we had Tim Means defeating Mike Perry via unanimous decision as well. I was excited for this fight. Dude, number one, Tim Means is never in a boring fight, ever. It's like, what's that other fighter we talk about all the time where it's like, oh, that fighter's fighting? I got to watch because it's never a boring fight. I feel that way with Tim Means. All his fights are fun to watch. And this was just another one of those. And it was a technical, I can't say all 15 minutes. There was that, was it third round, where Tim Means and Mike Perry started lighting each other up, just back and forth. I was like, whoa, Tim, you better slow down there. You need to get back to what you're doing, which was winning you the fight. Mike Perry looked interesting in that first round, trying to go for the takedowns. He looked good, but then Tim Means was able to get back up and keep implementing his game. But one thing I'll note, I don't know if any of my viewers here are part of the Reddit MMA subreddit, but there was a gentleman on there that posted about possibly being in the corner for Mike Perry. And then I think it was the Las Vegas Commission, as well as Dana White, was like, no, he can't sell, he can't sell his corner to make money. And the guy on the MMA subreddit was saying that he paid Mike Perry the money and was going to be in his corner, but then because of the commissions, blah, 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 he said he couldn't say anything else, and he said he was going to go dark until after the event. So I'm interested to see if that gentleman that was in Mike Perry's corner was actually the guy from Reddit, because I want to say somebody found that Mike Perry listed him as a old friend. And then, of course, he had his pregnant girlfriend there, too. So Mike Perry's an interesting one. He doesn't want a corner to corner him because he knows how to fight. But when shit goes south in fights like this, where if he could have made adjustments, he could have maybe win. Because that's the thing, in my opinion, when it comes to champions have to be able to adjust. Think of Stipe when he fought DC. Going to the body like that in that second fight. Adjusting, being a champion. Having a girlfriend that's pregnant, and who knows who the other guy is in Mike Perry's corner, if they aren't able to help you to adjust, and you even mentally don't, beforehand, you're like, I don't need somebody to tell me what to do, you're never going to be champion with that mindset, in my opinion. You're never going to get there. You're going to just be middle of the road, fun fights, and that's about it. You're going to be a character. You're probably going to get a couple knockouts here and there, but overall, you're going to be, you're never going to be champ. He needs a mindset change, maybe a gym change. He needs a whole character change. He needs a fucking focus and things like that. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not in his position. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he's been through personally, but outside looking in, that's what I feel like he would need. Because I think John Anik said on the broadcast that Perry wants to be champ. If you want to be champ, you need to change something up, because that's not a championship mindset, and that's not the path to take to become a champion. So, anyways, that's Mike Perry. Tim Means, God, I love Tim Means. I love his nickname, the Dirty Bird. They talked about his first fight being on Field TV, like, goddamn. He's been in it for a while. Now after this fight, his record is 31-12. So that's 43 fights. That's some miles. I was really hoping Joe was going to ask Tim, because Joe, asked him kind of what's the future holds. Like, how do you keep going at this? And he says, "Oh, my family," which is obviously great. But dude, what else do you want? Do you just want to keep fighting unranked fighters? Do you actually want to get in the rankings? Would you like a top 15? I'd like to see Tim get at least a crack at the top 15. I don't know if he'd ever actually win a title. I feel like he could get in the rankings and hold a spot for a while. I don't know. That's a tough one to call. I like Tim Means. I like his fighting style. I like him as a person. I don't know in his current state. Let me see how old he is. He's got to be mid-30s. 36. So he beat Mike Perry and then Laureano Staropoli before that, and then lost to Daniel Rodriguez. Beat Thiago Alves, lost to Nico Price. So he's been kind of all over the place. He lost to Sergio Moraes and Bilal Muhammad, Alex Oliveira, Matt Brown, Neil Magny. So he's fighting good fighters, getting good wins, but getting losses against people that are good too. So I don't know. Tim, maybe another fight, and then maybe Tim could get a shot at rank 15 or something. So I don't know. I always look forward to Tim Means fights, and Mike Perry's just a character, so he's fun to watch too. But yeah, moving on, we have Katlyn Chookagian defeating Cynthia Calvillo. This is another decision, unanimous for Katlyn. Katlyn fought how Katlyn fights, and she did what she did. Typical, similar fighting style to Holly. Obviously not exactly the same, but similar, point fighting. I'm sure if she wanted to finish the fight, let me rephrase that. If she could have finished the fight, I'm sure she would have, but that's just how she fights. And so another win for her. Unfortunate for Cynthia. Katlyn did look a little bigger than Cynthia. I don't know why Cynthia. Oh, that's right. Cynthia missed weight that one time, didn't she? I don't know off the top of my head how many times she's missed weight. If she missed weight more than once, okay, cool. Stay in this division. If you only missed it that one time, you could probably go back down. There's people that missed weight how many times? So good fight there. Next fight, which is the first fight on the main card on the pay-per-view, was Paul Craig rematching against Maurício Shogun Rua, and that went into round number 2, 3 minutes 36 seconds. It was a KO/TKO tap to strikes. I don't know if you remember, but this is not the first time that Shogun actually tapped to strikes. If you look closely at the fight with John Jones, obviously years and years and years ago, there's a point where I think Jones, when he has him on the ground, and it's when Shogun's like turtling up, and Jones hits him with a knee to the body, and I swear you can lightly see him tapping, if I remember correctly. I didn't actually go look before the video, but so that doesn't surprise me, or I don't want to say it doesn't surprise me. He's not somebody I expect to tap, but since I saw it once, we saw Joanna Jędrzejczyk tap, Shogun tap again, so I was really confused about the matchmaking in this fight. It was a rematch. I don't know what this fight was doing for each fighter. I don't think either of them really got much out of this. But I mean, it looked good for Paul Craig. I mean, Shogun looked okay too, but Craig just pulled it out and was able to just start landing bombs. So we'll see where that takes Paul Craig. Next fight on the prelims, the top of the prelims, we had Brandon Moreno defeating Brandon Royval. Two Brandons going at it. And this was ended in round 1 with 4 minutes 59 seconds. At 4 minutes 59 seconds. So 1 second left. This was called off. And it was a KO TKO shoulder injury via ground and pound for Moreno won this. I don't know if you guys saw the clip afterwards, but Royval's coach took his arm and then popped the shoulder back into place, and the broadcast team were like, "Oh." Unfortunately, I had to miss that friggin' fight. I was upstairs. I think I was either on the phone or talking to the wife. Oh, you know what? I was talking to my mom on Skype. Priorities, boys and girls. Make sure to call your parents. So I missed that fight. I want to go back and watch it. Granted, obviously I know the outcome, but I want to go back and see how Moreno did. I'm a fan of Moreno's. Moreno's come a long way. He looked really good on the Ultimate Fighter. Obviously lost, but he's come a long way, and I like how he fights. So I'm excited to see how Moreno does. I'm assuming he's going to get the next shot at the title there at flyweight because Figgy called him out. So let's see how many fights Moreno's has won in a row. Maybe 3 or 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So these are the last 4 fights he's won. Perez. Oh, and then he had a draw against Askar Askarov, and then he defeated Kai Kara-France, who a lot of people think is really good. He defeated Jussier Formiga, and then now fought Brandon Royval. And actually, he was supposed to fight Alex Perez today, but Perez was the one chosen to move up and fight Figgy when Cody pulled out. So, yeah, I'm excited for Brandon Moreno. Like I said, I missed the fight, but I really want to see him get a crack at that title, so that'll be cool. Next, we have the next fight on the prelims was Joaquin Buckley defeating Jordan Wright. This is 18 seconds in round number 2, KO TKO via hooks. Now, Jordan Wright, if you're not familiar, a lot of people obviously familiar with Joaquin Buckley, but Jordan Wright, me and my buddies watch AFC, Alaska Fighting Championship. Man, I don't even know if they have a season going on now, or if this is their time where they don't do any season. But Jordan Wright came up through Alaska Fighting Championship, and he was at Jackson Winks, and he looked okay. You know, and granted, it's Alaska Fighting Championship. There's not the greatest competition up there. I mean, Mighty Mouse came through there. Who else came through there? Oh, Jared Cannonier came through Alaska Fighting Championship, and now here Jordan Wright. And people were looking, and I've never really sat down and looked into Jordan Wright's competition, and his competition is very, very negative. Like you know, 2 wins and 30 losses or something like that. I don't remember what the number was, but he was defeating a lot of people that had very negative records. So while it looks good that he was 11-0 today, it doesn't look good when there's a stat on what is that website? It is Fight Matrix. Let's go look that up, because there's a statistic on this website where you can see like the fighters' percentage when they're fighting. Here, let's just look him up. Jordan Wright. There we go. So Jordan Wright. Let's see. Quality performance, 45.5%. Opponents last 5. Loss, win, win, loss, win. Next opponent. I thought I saw somewhere else. 540 metric, 0.571. Is that out of 1? Yeah, strength of schedule format. So I'm assuming 0.571 is not good. Let's look at I don't want to say Khabib. Let's look at Joaquin Buckley's 0.850. So he's probably had better competition. Yeah. Anyways, Jordan got a knockout, I think, in his previous fight in UFC, or maybe it was on. No, he got knocked out on Contender Series, wasn't it? But then it got switched to a no contest because the the fighter that defeated him failed a drug test for marijuana. Who cares? Anyways, so another good win for Joaquin Buckley. Riding off of that crazy knockout, that spinning back kick to the face. So great fight for him. Oh, did you guys watch the meeting or the discussion he had with Joe Rogan? How he's like, there's somebody out on Twitter that's talking that. I think he said stuff. I'm assuming he meant shit. Talking that shit. I'm not gonna say his name, but Joe Rogan's like, who are you talking about? He's like, I'm not gonna say his name. Do the research. You'll see what I'm talking about. Joe goes, are you talking about James Krause? He goes, I'm not gonna say his name. And I was like, oh shit, because I remember on, I think, Reddit, people posted about James Krause talking about how Joaquin Buckley, I think, trained with him for a little bit, here in the Kansas, because I'm in the Kansas City area. Train him here with him in the gym, and I guess in St. Louis. And supposedly, obviously, I don't know who's lying, who's telling the truth, but supposedly, James Krause is saying that Joaquin Buckley is not very, we'll say passionate. No, not passionate. Very, basically, when he trains with other training partners, he doesn't go easy. It's not that he doesn't go easy. He goes way too hard with his training partners. It probably hurts people, and you don't want people like that. You don't, even if you're working with younger fighters or veteran fighters, like if people are going to fight, you don't want to go super hard. Like I understand sparring, yes, I understand you have to spar, but there's and I don't know, it depends on the situation. It depends on, the fighter and the weight class and things like that. But supposedly James Krause said he does not do good with sparring. He goes way too hard, and Joaquin is just going back at him. So that's who he wants to fight. And it was funny. Krause posted up, I think, on Instagram. It was a picture of him, and it just says "Say my name," and I was like, "Oh my God!" To me, it's a reference to Breaking Bad, which you can't see it, but that poster on my wall right there. Actually, let me go get it. Oh, I can't. Oh, that's right. I used the sticky things, the two-sided sticky things. You can't see it, but it's hard to see. But it's basically a painting of Jesse and Walter from Breaking Bad. Anyways, I was like, oh, shit. So, but I think Krause fights at middleweight now. And Buckley, middleweight, right? But Buckley barely made middleweight. Or is he fighting at 170? Man, I can't remember. So, I don't know. I don't know if they'll make that fight or not. But interesting nonetheless. Moving on. So next we have Antonina Shevchenko. I think she's the older sister, technically. Defeats Ariana Lipski, the queen, or what's her nickname? The Queen of Violence. Yeah, the Queen of Violence might need to have her name changed because she is not doing all that well in the UFC. Supposedly she was just fighting people again that just didn't have a good strength. Fighting other fighters that didn't have good records. Like she looked good in the other organizations, but here she has not been looking good. Like I remember watching her fights, I was like, wow, she does look good, but I didn't know the records of those other fighters she was fighting. So that's why it's good to do research on that kind of stuff. When you're trying to look for prospects and stuff and matchmaking and recruiting possible talent in your organization. But Antonina Shevchenko, like they talked about in the broadcast, like she's, specific more of a striker, and then she goes grappling. It's pretty crazy. So good to fight there for Shevchenko. I'm still confused about Antonina. Like both her and Valentina are in the same weight class at 125. So what, are we gonna have both sisters champion and number one? You're never obviously gonna have the sisters fight each other. So is one of them gonna have to move weight class if that's the case? What are you gonna do there? You gonna just deny your sister from getting a championship belt because you're both in the same weight class? Just seems odd. Next fight was Nicholas Dalby versus Daniel Rodriguez, defeating him 3 rounds decision unanimous for Nicholas Dalby. I kind of missed some of this fight. I was on the phone for that one, so I won't comment on that. I saw little bits and pieces, but hard to say on that one. Here we go. This is a fight I was interested in. Alan Jouban defeating Jared Gooden, or as DC likes to say, Jared Gordon, and he called Jared Gordon the NASCAR driver, which is Jeff Gordon, so DC was all over the place. But he defeated him after 3 rounds, so a unanimous decision. I'm high on Alan Jouban. Like him and Drew Dober, I feel like are dark horses. Obviously, Alan Jouban, like he isn't blowing the doors off people, but I feel like he's got that tenacity where... Just noticed my dog's in the background chewing on a bone. Don't mind him. He got surgery last week. Got his, nads removed. So I gave him a bone so he'd be quiet, but he was sleeping. But I have his plastic cone. Where is that? Right there. And we have that on him when I'm not paying attention because he's tried to lick his incision a couple times. So, anyways, it was a great fight. Great fight, dude. Alan is good at coming back from adversity. Not like crazy adversity, but good adversity. Jared Gooden looked good. Like, they were talking about how focused and, like, you know, stone-faced he was. He looked patient. He looked calculating, but Jouban was just better, you know? And great fight, though. Great matchmaking. I really liked that fight. Jouban, I'm telling you, give him a little more time to cook. Give him the right cornermen. Give him the right coaches, right training partners. I feel like Jouban could crack... Let's see, what weight class are they in? I forget. Let me look. They weren't small boys, but they weren't big boys. Welterweight, so 170. Man, there's a lot of wrestlers up in 170. He could probably get top 10. I don't know, past that, we'll see. But I like Jouban. I like him. Let's see, last couple fights. Kyle Dawkins defeated Justin Stoltzfus. And Sasha Paletnikov defeated Louis Kosk. I know that's one of the brothers from the God, I want to say Ultimate Fighter Contender Series, but I always forget how to say his last name. Damn it! I won't go over those two fights because I kind of missed those. I was like on and off watching them because I was on some calls. So, anyways, overall that's the whole fight card. So, to be honest, if I had to give the card out of 10, let's see. Jouban's fight was good. Joaquin Buckley's fight was good. Means Mike Perry. Co-main was okay. Valentina just kind of fought her fight. Didn't get a finish. And then the main event, I'd say a 6. Nothing crazy. Maybe a 5. Nothing crazy at all, to be honest, even for the hardcores. But, so nothing crazy to shake a stick at. Let's look at the future and see what events coming up next. If you're not in the know, I'm going to shout out my boy's website, nextufc.com. He posted on Reddit, and man, it comes in handy. It's way better than trying to flip through Wikipedia or even Tapology or through the UFC's friggin' website to try to figure out what's upcoming next. But next weekend, oh man, we got Curtis Blades taking on Derek Lewis. Shit. Co-main event, Renato Moicano defeating Rafael Fiziev. Anthony Smith is coming back. Oh boy, he's fighting Devin Clark. I feel like Anthony Smith should take a little extra time off. Dude, your teeth are coming out. Like, okay. Ashley Evan Smith is fighting. Who else? Rachel Ostovich is back. Man, when's the last time she fought? I feel like she hasn't fought in a while. Wow. Her last fight was January of 2019. She lost to Paige Van Zandt. Ooh, she might be on the chopping block. Ugh. She got on the Ultimate Fighter finale. She won a fight. Then she lost the fight. Now she's fighting Gina Mazzani. Who else we got? That's about it that I can recognize name-wise. Damn. That card's hurting. But obviously Curtis Blades, Derek Lewis, that'll be a fun fight. So that's what we got coming up next week. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite fight of the card? I think mine honestly was Tim Means and Mike Perry. That was a good scrap. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Let's see. What do I have going on and MMA related? We're almost at 30 minutes, so I'll cut it quick, but I really, really do want to get into managing fighters, and I'm using this channel just to kind of... Obviously, I'm always watching fights. I need to watch more Bellator. I've been putting Bellator off. I've been putting the other organizations off, I'll be honest. I've been so damn busy. I'm trying to work on other shit right now. But with what I have working on, I have my normal 8 to 5 day job, and then I'm working on some other project I'm hoping to really get going. And then after that, if I can get really stable money-wise, I'm hoping to maybe quit my full-time job. Basically, I'm working on real estate stuff. I'm hoping the real estate stuff works out. Then it could free up some time, and I can actually pursue managing MMA fighters. I tried to do it a little bit before, but honestly didn't know what I was doing. And some of this real estate stuff I'm learning, which I think the one thing I'm about to mention right now that applies everywhere is networking, talking to people, having a connection, building rapport with people. I feel like that's what I'm going to have to do this time around. I'm just going to have to start talking to people, man, and hear their stories, hear what they're looking for, help them be successful. And I have to relate to them and listen to them and things like that. And that's what I'm learning through this real estate stuff. And I think that'll help, land clients, land fighters as a manager. And I want to start with people in my area. I want to start with people that are looking for help. I'm not looking to make buku bucks off of managing fighters. I just want to help them in their career, help them be successful, and help them achieve whatever goals or dreams they have as a mixed martial artist and as a fighter. And I had a lot more time before real estate, so I'm saying maybe after give it a little more time and I can dive more deep into it. But that's long-term vision for me. I really want to do that. So, but as of right now, I'm going to stick to watching and enjoying MMA and enjoying talking about it. I love going on Reddit and reading about upcoming fights, things like that. I need to do more videos of upcoming fights and news and stuff like that. But as of right now, I'm pretty happy with doing videos on reactions of pay-per-views and events for UFC. I need to do some for some of the other events. But other than that, thanks again for watching. Hope you are doing great. Get some sleep. It's fucking late. So thanks again for watching. Have a good night and see you next week.